Okay, hello, welcome to the weather update. It's April 20th, 2020, and it is almost 7 o'clock, and we're looking at the storm that has just missed us. Here's this monster storm, luckily, that has missed us, luckily, just on the outer fringes of it. Looking another look at it on the satellite, you can see here it is. It doesn't really look tropical. It looks like maybe there's a little piece here that might have some tropical characteristics right over here. But for the most part, we've been in the outer cloud bands, some clouds, and maybe right along the coast, maybe a light shower or two. I do want to look at the lightning activity, see if there's any lightning activity with the storm that would indicate any tropical. Oh, there is right along here. Look at this. A lot of lightning offshore, off the Carolina coast. So yeah, it looks like maybe something might try to get going over there. I don't know. Look at all that lightning. That's quite a bit of lightning right there. Okay, well, but for our area, all is quiet for now. For now, let's look at some of the observations across the area right now. You can see the radar, that light rain offshore moving away. The sun's been trying to come out, but we've been having some stubborn clouds over our area, some high clouds. So 55 degrees, light winds out there, so it's pleasant. They don't have any high winds or anything like that. We got up to 54 today on Long Island, and the air is fairly dry, but we do have a wind advisory in effect for tomorrow. And this is from 5 p.m. tomorrow to 2 a.m. Wednesday. Actually, no, that's the frost advisory. That's in effect, and that is not for our area. I'm looking for the wind. The wind advisory is in effect from 5 p.m. Tuesday to 2 a.m. Wednesday. So northwest winds behind that front are going to be really gusting like crazy. And it's not going to be too pleasant behind that front. It's going to get pretty windy. We have a very strong cold front moving through tomorrow, so that's what we have to talk about. And I'm actually going to go to this here because we have a threat for severe weather tomorrow in our area. So let's see, this is day one. We need a day two convective outlook for tomorrow. And you will see that our area is now in a yellow, which is SLGHT, which is slight, stage 2, because we have a very strong cold front moving through tomorrow, and we're going to talk about that in this weather update. So you will see here, let's go look at the GFS. We'll look at the northeast view, and we'll talk about this cold front tomorrow. We're dry tonight, first part of tomorrow, but here comes that front. And you will take a note, if you look at these lines here, these are the isobars. Right? And Joe Chaffee was talking about this in his update, and I'm going to talk about this. Is Tuesday afternoon. So I want you to look at the isobars. So we're going to draw this cold front here. The cold front is right here. All right, that's your cold front. And what it is even though the air at the we're going to go over the air, this unique situation that we're in. This doesn't happen too often. You look at the isobars. Look at that V shape that they have. When you see this V shape like this, Joe Chaffee was talking about this, and this is something that I'm aware of too. When you see there's a V shape, I mean, last update I was focused on the coastal storm, but now we got to talk about this which will affect our area. This indicates severe weather. Generally, when you have this kind of thing, you have a possibility of strong winds. And really just rapidly developing thunderstorms that can be quite strong because this front is moving very rapidly too. You will notice that. So you see the V-shaped isobars. That's a telltale sign that there's going to be some severe weather tomorrow. This is the GFS, and then it brings the front through, and then Wednesday we have a dry day, and then the next system would be Thursday night to Friday, and that might not be such a fun period into the weekend. But we're not going to look at that right now in this weather update because we have to focus on tomorrow's severe weather chances. So I want to look at some of the other models like the NAM 12 kilometer and show you this front and show you how fast it's moving too. So this is Tuesday morning. It's already racing through central Pennsylvania, and the NAM brings this front through right around the middle of the afternoon, 2-3 o'clock. And you can see, again, those V-shaped isobars indicating a strong cold front. Front races through really fast, and it's clear of the area probably by 5 or 6 o'clock, according to the NAM. We can go and look at the higher resolution NAM, so you can get an idea of where it guesses that there'll be some severe thunderstorms. You can see there's one pretty intense cells around 18Z, 2 o'clock on Tuesday, moving through Nassau, and then there's another batch. So it may be 2 rounds, and then another round later on, more like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, with this other round of severe thunderstorms coming through. And you can see these. This is a nice little squall line developing here. These kind of thunderstorms are definitely something to be concerned about, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect tomorrow. Tornadoes not, but severe thunderstorms with damaging straight line winds and hail possible, as well as frequent lightning with this rather intense line. Had this been the winter, we would have had snow squalls, but it will be rain with these storms. And you could see just the intensity on these. So I want to show you some of the other models. We're going to look at all of them here. HRRR. Let's look at that HRRR model. So this only goes out to 15Z, but you can see again that front is hauling, and it's gonna be hauling. But it looks like there's several impulses along it. It's actually might be 2 rounds instead of just 1. So we have to keep an eye. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very interesting weather day. Let's look at the RJAM model as well. So here's the RJAM, and again you can see, look at that, and it really just develops it right over Long Island too, which is the concern. Again, this is around 3-4 o'clock, and it just blooms it right over Long Island. And when the thunderstorms are forming, and when it looks like just peaks them right over Long Island. So we may really get hammered with some severe thunderstorms tomorrow. And then behind it kind of keeps some shower activity. So it's not going to be all that great behind the front until we get to Wednesday. But tomorrow is going to be a very exciting severe weather day. It's really looking like the shape up like that. Let's look at the HDRPS, which is another model as well, so you can get an idea. They seem to agree on that timing, but also 2 waves, one around 1-2 o'clock, and then another around 3-4 o'clock. This is going to be a pretty intense cold frontal passage. And you can see here those tight isobars behind it, which means lots of wind. So that is pretty much what it looks like on those mesoscale models, which are the ones I really want to use for this. Let's go back to the NAM. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the atmospheric profile when this front moves through. So I want you to look at that profile here. This is what you call a sounding. Let's see if we can get that. Doesn't want to work this time. Oh, maybe it doesn't provide it for the NAM. We'll do the GFS. There we go. Okay, so take a look at this. All right, this is something that Joe Chaffee was talking about too. That again, watch his channel. He's the expert. He's the best meteorologist that you. Him and Joe Rayo. Watch the 2 of them. They're really interesting and very knowledgeable. Oh, really? Sorry about that. I had to take a call. But anyway, looking at this diagram here, you can see there's a spread at the surface of. You see the air at the surface isn't that moist, but look at the air just above us, 900, 800, 700. There's the dew point and the temperature are at the same, so that means there's going to be a lot of condensation in this area, a lot of cloud formation, which is going to lead to the severe weather. And you can see that dew point is up there, even though at the surface, it's very rare to see the dew point actually get a little higher as you go up, but that's what's happening, and that's really unusual to see. And when you see it look like this, this means you're going to have some severe weather, and some of these capes are pretty high too, as well. So we're going to look at the Cape. We're going to look at a whole bunch of stuff in this. There's so much. It's really going to be one hell of a day tomorrow with this. So we'll also take a look, and we'll look at the thermodynamics as well. So you can see here's the warm air being pulled up ahead of the cold front, and the cold front comes through, and then Wednesday we drop down. It's hard pressed to get to 50, and then Thursday we're trying to recover up a little bit into the maybe mid 50s. Friday, and then the weekend. Like I said, I'm just not even going to talk about it. We have to remain focused on tomorrow's situation because there is a tremendous possibility of severe weather. We will look at the total accumulated rainfall. Total accumulated. We'll just do 24-hour, but that's fine. We'll do the 24-hour one. These won't be huge rainmakers, but they could put down a half an inch of rain because there could be some heavy rain with these. But the main threat is the damaging winds and the hail because of that. The air is still rather cold, and these are going to be this is not a common event here to have a rapid cold frontal passes like that in April. So it's not something you see all the time, but we're probably going to see some really interesting cloud formations tomorrow with this. Maybe some nice, type of wall clouds and shelf clouds with this, and the sky could get really dark too. So we're going to look at windy.com here and the rain and thunder possibility for tomorrow. So here we are at 12. You can see that front trying to move into our. Let me pull this out a little bit here. You can see that off to the west. It doesn't look that impressive, but what happens when it gets over us, then it starts firing up. Like this is the Euro now, the windy.com. So it fires up. This has it firing up around 4 o'clock. See the little lightning bolts there. That's where the thunderstorm is. And if we looked at the wind, we can actually look at the thunderstorms here. You'll see here that there's this is where the thunderstorms, any area that's shaded is an area where thunderstorms are very likely to form. Look at how fast that thing moves. So we'll move through very quickly. We will look at the temperature as well around that frontal passage. So you can see you can clearly see that front right there looking at the wind temperature and the wind flow. And you can see there's a ton of warmth, especially to our west. Maybe Long Island might be saved by the sea breeze. I don't think so because the dynamics are just so strong with this. So I think the possibility of severe weather is across our entire area. You can see here close to 60 in Jersey, which will definitely give some energy to these storms as well. Let's see, what about those dew points? So dew points, not that high, but it's just enough to give these things some energy. We'll look at the wind gusts with this, and you'll see here that there's going to be some really strong winds ahead of this front. So winds gusting up close to 45 miles an hour. And then with the front, some of these storms could bring wind gusts of 50 mile an hour or more. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens at all. And then the winds kind of stay up behind that front as we go into the evening. And then we do try to clear it out. So you'll see here by 7 p.m. we're trying to clear the skies out, and then hopefully Wednesday we have some clouds in the morning, and then hopefully this model seems to want to keep clouds over our area, so hopefully that's wrong. We will look at some of the other models. We'll look at the sky cover on this as well, so you can get an idea. Obviously tomorrow we know we'll have plenty of clouds around. Wednesday we do try to get some clear skies over our area. I think we will. And then obviously as we go into the weekend we're dealing with that mess. But again, I'm not going to talk about that in this weather update. We're focused on the severe weather threat for tomorrow. There's another tool that I want to use, and that is Ventusky. So let's go look at the Ventusky tool because this has some thunderstorm tools for, and we'll look at tomorrow. Now this uses the it says HRRR, so it's using the HRRR for CAPE. So let's look at CAPE. And you see there's some CAPE off to the west here, but watch what happens when we get to 1400. Here's the CAPE. You see the CAPE is still over our area. This is the CAPE now. But we have to look at the lifted indexes because those are going to be, now CAPE is more of an indicator, I think, of tornadic activity. But if we looked at the lifted index, this is what's going to go off the wall here. Look at that. So you could see huge amounts of lift right over here. Look at this area. So it's developing. This could be a really intense thunderstorm over there. And this is, again, between, I would say, 2 o'clock, 1700. Can't really get in between. But you get the idea that the atmosphere is going to be ripe for some severe weather tomorrow afternoon. We can look at this as well, the 3-hour precipitation. This kind of shows where the storms are at. This is 1400. This is 1700. So look at that. So that's a sign right there of some really severe thunderstorms. So I'll try to keep you posted on the severe weather, and I'm going to try to show it to you as well. This is going to be very interesting to watch for sure. And if you have a place you can watch these storms, you might want to do it because it's going to be pretty impressive, I think. So that does wrap up this weather update. Take care. Thank you for watching.